Hey, what's up? This is Christopher Stolle of Realm of the Mist Entertainment. The podcast you are listening to is part of the SJ Network. Go to s-j-network.com. That's s-j-network.com for more great podcasts and information on those shows, as well as information and ability to contact publicist Steve Joyner for more information. Just go to the website and check out the family. Ladies and gentlemen, until then, enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, guys? Christopher Stolle back with another Breaking the Fourth Wall weekly show. And of course, I'm being joined by two of our panelists. One will come later, hopefully. And unfortunately, one is down with an injury. We hope she gets better soon. Thoughts and prayers, good well wishes, all that happy stuff for Serenity, who is getting checked out by a doctor right now. I won't disclose what's going on because, well, until I have her permission, I don't think anybody needs to know. But otherwise, I am being joined by Mr. Don Smith and Colin, who are normally part of the Fourth Wall crew. Guys, how you doing?
Doing all right, man.
Hey, good to see you, Chris.
All right. And our special guest for the night is Mr. Wilfredo, and Wilfredo's a podcaster, and he's about to tell us all about his show and everything he does right now. Wilfredo, how you doing? Wilfredo looks frozen.
Yes, we have a frozen Wilfredo.
I hate it when you put the Wilfredo in the freezer.
Yeah. If you have any idea how long it takes to thaw.
I was having technical difficulties, guys. Definitely technical difficulties.
That's all right. Wilfredo, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty all right. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your podcast and where you hail from, and go from there.
All right. So I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, but now I live in Tobyhanna, PA. In my mind, and basically it's me just having people on discussing general topics. Sometimes I'll have an entrepreneur. Since I've been working with Steve Joyner, I've been having quite a few celebrities on, and it's just been amazing. It's just been great, man. Just like to have good conversation and just put out positive content.
Right on. And what is the name of your show?
Stuck in My Mind.
Stuck in Your Mind. And what part of Pennsylvania did you say you were in?
I'm in Tobyhanna. I'm up in the Pocono Mountains.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm from Philly, and I'm like, where the hell is that?
Yeah, you know where Stroudsburg is?
Yeah, okay.
I'm right near, I'm like 15 minutes from Stroudsburg.
All right, well, Wilfredo, let me ask you a couple questions. Number one, do you prefer Wilfredo, or do you have a preferred name or a nickname? Like, can I call you Wolf?
Well, no, you can't call me Wolf.
Okay.
Will is fine.
Okay, Will.
Yeah.
Cool. Number one. And number two, what is the content of comedy on your show? You a fan of comedy stuff?
Oh yeah, I had Chewy on not that long ago. He's funny as hell. So yeah, it depends. It depends on the person. If the person wants to have a funny segment, then I'm down for it. It all depends on the person.
All right, good. And the reason I asked that is because we're going to start it off right now, right away, pretty quick, with Mr. Don Smith, who happens to be a stand-up comedian, by the way. He's not standing up right now, but he might still be funny. With the news buffet.
Hey, this is Don Smith from the Life Radio Show. If you've always wanted to learn more about the world of low-budget filmmaking and even lower-budget comedy, tune into the Life Radio Show. You can live stream the show at wwsu1069.org on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, or find us wherever you find podcasts, and like and follow the Life Radio Show on Facebook for live video and other shenanigans.
Which caused alarm in the southwestern town of Heidelberg last week. Federal police sent a bomb squad to investigate after a train driver found the styrofoam box with 3 vials of liquid on a local train Friday. Forensic specialists later determined that the liquid contained genetic material from rodents. Officers had hoped to crack the case by publicizing the unusual find, but despite intense media interest, the owner has remained elusive so far, said Jan Doring, a federal police spokesman. Doring said police had already disposed of the vials as the cold chain had been broken. So there we go. We are looking for the owners of some hamster DNA. If anybody knows anybody that is missing some hamster DNA, too late because the Germans threw it away. So,
so let me recap just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. When we're talking hamster DNA and the Germans mishandling, and there's a joke in there somewhere, we are literally talking about hamster spunk. Yes.
Yes, actual hamsters, the little furry guys, little balls of fur that squeal and poop everywhere. Those are the ones. So.
I want to meet the person in charge of getting that DNA sample to begin with.
That's all you need right here. Just that doesn't sound like a very glamorous job to be the extractor of the hamster DNA. And to have left several vials of it on a train in Germany, that's got to be disappointing because the man hours that it's going to take to recover those. And that could have been like prize-winning hamster DNA. You never know. That could have been like pedigree hamster jizz right there, and they just left it all on the train. Sometimes.
What was the purpose? Like, what was the purpose of it? Was it to breed a master race of hamster, or like, you know, is this a fraternity clinic for hamsters? Because we know they don't propagate all that well.
German.
We're talking Germany.
Is this a COVID-19? Is it a COVID-19? Is the COVID lady mass producing?
That could be it. That could be maybe that's what it is. She couldn't extract any more from her boyfriend, so she decided to see if hamster worked the same as he did as far as protecting her from COVID-19. To go back, Wilfredo, there was a story we talked about a couple of weeks ago about a woman that, in order to her cure for COVID-19, and the way she kept from getting it was she would drink smoothies made out of her boyfriend's sperm. So now she's switched over to hamsters because I guess that's just like a shot. It's not a whole smoothie. It's just a little hamster shot, and you're good to go. But being that it is Germany, that could have also been a master race of hamsters they were trying to develop. They were trying to bring back power to the hamster land.
White Aryan hamsters.
Right. you never know what you're going to run into in Germany. So let's see what else we have. This sounds like a lot of fun. We'll go from one rodent to another. Desperate for a drink. There's a spit fermented wine, liquor fermented in prisons, and a strong Scottish brew served from the mouth of a taxidermied squirrel. The Disgusting Food Museum in Malmo, Sweden. apparently exists, which has served up displays of bull testicles and maggot-infested cheese, is now introducing a drinks menu in the form of a temporary exhibition opening Saturday. Museum director Andreas Ahrens said that he wants to encourage people to examine their relationship with alcohol by showing the extreme measures people have taken to concoct mind-altering brews. People are very desperate to get drunk around the world, Ahrens said, kind of like me right now. So whenever we find ourselves in a situation where there is no alcohol, we get quite inventive, and we've been doing this for millennia. Most drinks on display are beverages that are commonly used somewhere in the world, but which would revolt outsiders unfamiliar with the taste. So apparently, we'll say that again, a strong Scottish brew served from the mouth of a taxidermied squirrel. And we were worried about hamster DNA.
I'm telling you, like these last two segments, man, it's like the difference between spitting and swallowing. I mean, like Jesus Christ. Like I'm sitting here right now, and I'm wondering which is worse: drinking spit out of a dead squirrel's mouth, or like back in the day when people were like shoving NyQuil up their rectums to get drunk faster. You know, like what the hell is wrong with you people?
You never know.
I can't even make fun of this. What is wrong with you people?
The dozens of food items on regular display here at this museum include a bull's penis, frog smoothies from Peru, a wine made of baby mice, and that is consumed in China and Korea, and Sweden's surströmming, an infamously putrid fermented herring. Sounds delicious.
I've seen the can of that. I've actually seen that on a radio show program here called Preston and Steve. And as a matter of fact, I got to pick on because last week we did the poop cell phone bit on the news buffet where they found the cell phone in the pooper. And when you know on Wednesday morning, Preston and Steve, they did the exact same news broadcast. They talked about it. But on Preston Steve, they actually opened one of those Strong.
Oh, I always have fun when I do a news story. I always have fun when I do a news story on the life, and a couple weeks later, I'll hear it on like Bob and Tom or something like that. It's like, yep, beat you to it, buddy. If only everybody tuned to the Life radio show or Breaking the Fourth Wall for their news, we'd be right at the top.
I remember being a kid, and my dad was like, "Here, try some of this creamed herring." But I mean, I used to be a cook out in the Denver area, and I was at a biker bar. Well, we had to do Rocky Mountain oysters, which is the strangest thing to have to take a meat tenderizer and squash testicles and then season them and bread them and deep fry them. I was not a fan. I never ate them. I cooked them, prepared them, but I never tasted them, not once.
You didn't, just out of curiosity,
did you ever feel bad
around for a while, or?
I was like having like little nightmares in my mind. Like, what am I doing? I cannot believe I'm doing this. You know, like with the little meat tenderizer, like smashing it like a mallet. Yeah.
Did you start questioning your own sexuality when you were breading them and like, rolling them around like a reach around?
Yeah.
I
don't
even think I thought about that deeply.
In order to bread them, you have to kind of cup your hand. You just roll. This is how you bread them. You just put the breading in your hand.
Giving me flashbacks, brah.
Yeah, the tenderizing is a job for the ex-wife.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to describe the smell. No.
It gives a whole new meaning to having your balls pounded flat by a wooden hammer, doesn't it?
Oh, that is nuts.
Yeah, yeah, literally. And blue balls doesn't describe it even nearly close enough.
Well, that's when you pull them out of the freezer.
It's freezer.
It'd be a little cold.
Yeah. They're easier to handle when they're frozen. They're smaller. A Kentucky driver was pulled up. We'll go from tiny balls to Kentucky. A Kentucky driver was pulled over last Wednesday after police officers noticed something was a little bit off about his particular license plate. The driver had apparently thought he could get away with drawing his own license plate. After more investigation, the officers learned that the driver also had no insurance. Well, no kidding. He drew on his own. He couldn't draw up a fake insurance card and was driving under a suspended license. And again, something else he could have drawn. The bizarre interaction took place in Millersburg, a small town in northern Kentucky, about 100 miles east of Louisville. The driver's identity was not released because that was probably fake too. The Millersburg Police Department offered a pro tip for drivers hoping to get away with drawing their own license plate. Don't forget to draw the registration sticker. And this is actually one that I can share. I can share a screen on this one, so we can take a look at his artistry skills and see what we got here. Hopefully,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's actually
please tell me.
surprisingly not bad. I mean, he needs to work on his lettering a little bit because you can see. I mean, it's Kentucky bourbon, so why not? Which of course, there is a bourbon town in Kentucky.
It really isn't.
Please
that
tell
bad.
me.
Yeah.
Please tell me it's going to wind up in like the Crayola Museum or something. You know, like if there's ever an advertising for crayons. What is the Denver Broncos symbol doing above?
That's what I was thinking.
Well,
I want to see how the original plate looks.
He was starting out to do I think he was doing a Denver Broncos tribute at first, and he was like, you know what? I need the license plate more than I need that because it's Kentucky. So.
Well, you know what? Whenever I lived out in Colorado for 10 years, and whenever I think about the Denver Broncos, Kentucky is exactly what comes to mind. What?
I can understand that.
Well, I just love the horse pick of the Derby, but
All right, let's we'll move on from that. Let's see what else we have here. By the way, Wilfredo, I don't choose any of these ahead of time. I pull them up as we go. That way I have no idea what's actually going on, and it's more fun that way. That way I can stumble over words and big names that I could have practiced beforehand, but I was too dumb to. The FBI is investigating a report from airline pilots that a person was seen flying a jetpack some 3,000 feet above Los Angeles International Airport Sunday evening. The Federal Aviation Administration said two airline flight crews reported seeing what appeared to be someone in a jetpack as they were on their final approaches to LAX around 6:35 p.m. last Sunday. Fox 11 Los Angeles obtained recordings of communications between the aircraft and the tower. Tower American 197, we just passed a guy in a jetpack, a pilot said. American 197, okay, thank you. Were they off to your left side or your right side, the controller asked. Because why not? That's definitely something you need to know, is what side you're being passed on by a jetpack. That way you don't veer right or veer left and take them out altogether, because as we know, a guy on a jetpack is no match for a 747 or whatever size plane this was. I'm not even sure. This is why I should look stuff up ahead of time. But yeah, apparently two flights, not just one. That way you know it's real.
but like, why? Like, how did? I'm confused. Is there actually working jetpacks in the world? Like the last I knew, that shit was still like, Rocketeer territory.
Apparently this one existed. Either that or that's some alien technology.
What was it made of? Like metal?
See,
what was it made of? Diet soda bottles and.
Yeah, it was Mentos and Coke. Somebody strapped Mentos and Coke, shot 3,000 feet in the air, past some jetliners. That's what, because why not? This is 2020. I don't know what the hell anything means anymore.
This could have been some backpack guy who was just out on the trails and slammed a Red Bull and gave him wings.
That could be, yeah.
I mean, it's possible. But I like so confused. Like, I want more to this story. Like, okay, he passed the 747. They waved like Superman, the original Superman, where he's like, got the engine on the plane, and they're just like, fly. Don't look.
Yeah,
But I need the rest. I want to know how. I need the rest. I need to know how he landed.
Oh yeah, well those planes should have followed him. They should have followed him to learn more. I don't care about flight trajectories and airline traffic. They needed to follow that guy.
They didn't find him. They didn't find him whatsoever. They don't know where this guy was. They just saw him.
Apparently not. I mean, it's been about a week since this happened. So they might have by then. He might have even turned himself in, and it might have been. I just wonder if I can't even think of his name. Never mind. I was going to do a callback to an old. Geez,
maybe it was Iron Man.
Crap, anything. It could have been Iron Man. That's right.
Yeah, it could be Iron Man.
Dude, Elon Musk is just pushing boundaries on energy travel. That's all I'm going to say. That's a new Tesla backpack. He plugged in wrong.
If there's a jetpack out there, I don't think I want to be on one, honestly. They need to be tested a little further than that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what else is in our buffet. Let's move on to our next dish. There's no, I'm not reporting on a priest collapsing dead. There's some things I won't report on. A 59-year-old man was pinned under a fallen tree for more than 100 hours this week near Redwood Falls, Minnesota. According to the Redwood Falls Sheriff's Office, they received a 911 call about a tree that had fallen on a person just before 4 p.m. Monday. I've been doing this job for nearly 30 years and come across a situation. When you approach it, you're expecting the worst. And when I got there, I was just amazed at what I saw, said Chief Deputy Mark Farrison of the Redwood County Sheriff's Office. There they found 59-year-old Jonathan Kaplecha pinned under a tree. They discovered Kaplecha was cutting down trees when one fell on him Thursday, August 27th. He was trapped there for more than 4 days. I asked him how long he'd been there. He said, about 100 hours. About 100 hours. There's a tree on me. It's just right around there. It seemed very nonchalant for somebody pinned underneath a tree. He knew his name and was very alert and conscious, and it was just amazing how alert he was. Well, he had plenty of time to nap, I guess. What else was he going to do?
Well, let's face it, that maybe this guy's just used to having heavy wood like between his legs. Like maybe this was nothing. This was a Thursday night to him.
Yeah. Used to major wood.
That's it. Like, hello, ladies.
The plot thickens. Kaplecha, a teacher, lives alone, but his ex-wife found him. She had. There's something going on here. She called his daughter, who said She called his daughter, who said she had heard he was working on some trees. She went to find out what was going on after he missed a Friday and a Monday from work from a nearby school district. Yeah, if your ex-wife is the one that found you underneath the tree, she's probably the one holding the chainsaw, is my guess.
Dude, I'm telling you what, though, I've got to applaud it. That's the luckiest dude on the planet. He gets to spend the wood on top of him and think nothing of it. And his ex-wife is the one. If I was in that situation, my ex-wife would be bringing lighter fluid and marshmallows. Like, she wouldn't be calling to help me.
Right. I wonder how long she stood there laughing before calling for help.
Yeah,
look, we're putting too much in. Dude owed child support and collecting. That's what that was.
I'm sure
that was
she was
you
there
deadbeat. You're not getting away with it.
I'm sure she was there looking at him like, I'm ass under the damn tree.
Like, what are you doing under there?
All right.
Now again, it goes back. it goes back to the idea like this is a national park, right? That people are walking through this. Nobody noticed this dude in 4 fucking days.
What was he doing chopping down trees?
Like,
in a
even if,
national
like-
park? I think there's something weird
That's
going on
true.
there too.
That's true.
It's a pretty.
That's true, but at the same time, you would figure somebody would hear underneath the tree. You figure somebody would hear him underneath
So
the
it was
tree
in
at
a
one point, going like, "I gotta," you know what I mean?
Yeah. You think it may have been suicide?
So it wasn't property on something else.
What was that?
It wasn't on his property. It was at a national forest.
I didn't see the national park thing. Let me pull that up again. We'll try to find out a little bit more about what's going on. Maybe we haven't dug in deep enough to this poor fella trapped under a tree. Let's see. No, it's Redwood Falls, Minnesota. It was just the town. It didn't say anything about being in a park.
Okay, so he was on his property.
Okay.
Then more.
I'm hoping he was on his property. He could have been at his ex-wife's property setting up some booby traps too.
You
I
never
think
know. He
so.
could have been an Amazon worker trying to drop a squat and had a tree fall on him. You never know.
That could be. That could be. Well, no, he actually
Another
went out.
call.
His daughter said he was out working on some trees. It's in quotation, working on some trees. What the quotation marks mean around that, I don't know. Like it's, I'm kind of going with booby traps, and he just had one he rigged up a little incorrectly, and he was walking back to his car after setting them up, and one of them got him. He got caught in his own trap, is what I'm thinking here.
Trying to capture wild hamsters.
Yeah, yeah, he had to replace that DNA he left on the train. And everybody knows that wild hamster DNA is much more prized item than regular, like, because anybody can go into your average pet store and go ahead and extract some DNA from the hamsters real quick. It's catching the wild ones that's tricky.
Well,
I
if
love
they're
to
anything
use my
like
pet.
rabbits, they get her done fast.
Right. Well, yeah. If you're in the pet store, you got to get it done quick too, or you're going to jail. Don't ask me how I know.
Little critters like rabbits, think about it. They're quick like a bunny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You better have a cup and be on that.
Right. We've posted a lot of animal stories lately. Everybody likes animals, but at least this author feels like a change of pace is needed. So let's do something different today. How about a story about Italian flat earthers whose journey to the edge of the world didn't go exactly according to plan? The debacle happened back in April. Why are we reading stories about? Okay, we'll keep moving on. But the story about it was made public only this week, according to Wanted in Milan. One of the reasons for the secrecy might be that in April, Italy was under a strict COVID-19 lockdown. The authorities may have wanted to discourage others from imitating the reckless and, at the time, illegal stunt pulled off by the couple, and for good reason. But what did the couple actually do then? Well, they are of an inexplicable opinion that the Earth is flat and that its edge is on Lampedusa. Lampedusa is an island in the Mediterranean Sea, some 140 miles from the coast of Sicily. How the couple determine it's the edge of the world, nobody knows. The belief seems even more alien, considering the island is a mere 80 miles from the coast of Tunisia. As far as we're aware, Tunisia is not located beyond the boundaries of the physical world, but what do we know? In any case, that's the belief these people held and decided to act upon. Somehow they wanted to show that by reaching the edge of the world, they would once and for all prove that the Earth was indeed flat. Okay.
I mean, like the only thing I can come up with is either they had a map on the wine bottle that said that island was the end of it, or they saw that on a highlights magazine somewhere or something. Like how that is so random. Like I don't get these flat earthers to begin with, but when you especially attribute to the fact that it's like, oh, it ends at an island here, close to where I live, by the way, because I have no imagination whatsoever. I mean, you couldn't say like Indonesia or something. Like literally it had to be, an island near Sicily.
Right. It's not that far from where they were. Yeah, that's because if you're going to go out to prove it, if the edge of the earth is going to be somewhere, you're going to want it close to home. Like, I live in Ohio down in the Dayton area, and I figure anything up north of Troy, that's where the world ends anyway, because there's nothing further from there. So I can understand that. These are people that probably have lived a lot of time in like their own little side of a mountain, probably with their own family, probably intermarrying, intermingling. We're talking about some inbreeding going on here with the Flat Earther Society. So they don't think that there's a whole lot beyond the borders of their own kin. Otherwise, they might, venture out and spread the seed a little further. But no, this pair...
I think you hit the nail right on the head. They may not think the world is round, but their family tree definitely is.
Right. Now, I can see them getting this idea from a wine bottle, but not from highlights, because even with highlights, you still have to read at like a second grade level. The pair of unidentified flat earth adventurers who hail from the region of Veneto in northern Italy started their journey by hopping into their car and heading south. Once they reached the port city of Termini Imerese, I can't speak Italian, in northern Sicily, they sold their car. With the money, they bought a boat, despite having practically zero sailing or navigation ability, because they can't use the stars to navigate. They're not real. The couple then took to the sea, but hey, they had faith in their cause, and that's got to count for something, I guess. Unfortunately, the harsh truth is that reality often doesn't give a hoot or a holler about what you believe in. Due to their inability to actually steer their boat, the couple ended up sailing towards the island of Ustica. Ustica is around 60 miles northwest of where they started, while the Lampedusa is to the south of Sicily. So the couple were pretty much sailing in the opposite direction of where they wanted to go, hoping to find the other end of the earth, I guess. So they didn't even know it. If they believe the world is flat, why the hell would they think they could navigate a boat?
You know what? They may have failed at proving that the world is flat, but I think they proved that Christopher Columbus was an idiot.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's well, he was Italian.
These people must
That's my point.
be taking way too many mushrooms, man. Way too many mushrooms. And they're not sure if it's the world's flat or not. It's like, wow. I mean, how many other people around the globe are like this? Or can you say that? I mean, they don't believe it's a globe, right?
Right. Yeah. They can't even say around the world, because that would prove it's round. They can't. They have to change their whole language.
They're like, who cares if the world's round or flat? Just give me more mushrooms and we're all good.
Right. They don't go around the world. They skirt the corners. I wonder if it's flat, is it also square? Because if it was a square, it would still kind of be round. I mean, I have so many questions for flat earthers. Unfortunately, every time I email one, they can't read it. We have another entry in the Disgusting Feud Museum that we talked about earlier, and I just have to say that this one. Let's see. This is an Icelandic beer. This is basically the same article, only the first article did not include this one in the list. This is an Icelandic beer made with whale testicles smoked in sheep dung. Yummy. Just had to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Would that be considered a macro brew?
I don't think I hear that much.
Oh, well,
I'll take that regular brown.
There's another one. There's a spit fermented cornmeal beer from Peru, a Ugandan gin made from fermented bananas, and an ancient Korean beverages fermented from children's feces and rice. Holy crap!
What the hell? Wait a minute.
You really drank that crap?
Wait a minute. You're telling me I could have made money from my kids' diapers?
Apparently in Korea.
Right.
I have to wonder if that's North Korea or South Korea. I'm believing North Korea on this one, because Kim Jong-un, they eat a lot of some kids.
Yeah. He was a lot of kids crap.
And a lot of rice.
Yeah, I just
And a
had to
lot of
share
rice.
that. I saw that on a different news. I saw that on a different news source, and it explained a little bit more and added some more stuff to it. So that was fun.
Well, look, I gotta go back, man. I gotta go back. Look, I've made the joke before of like I want to build a time machine to go meet the first person that decided I wanted to eat the white thing out of a chicken's ass. But I want to go. I want to go back in time and find out who decided that this was going to be a delicious combination to turn into a beer. Some of these things you're just sitting there going like, what? Like, okay, wheat makes sense, barley makes sense, plant, whatever. Kids poop, yum.
Like most things on
Whale
this earth,
testicles. Oh, that.
like most things on this earth, because I'm sure at some point hamster DNA found on a train has made its way into a beer. I think most beer, most alcoholic beverage was discovered merely on a bet. You know, like you find some disgusting piece of fruit and you said, hey, $2 to eat this. And then they eat it and they get drunk as hell. And everybody's like, man, we got to find more of that shit. That's how alcohol was developed. That's how most drugs were developed, is somebody was experimenting with something and said, man, this is fucking great. And then they had to have more, and they found out a way to duplicate it. But it all started with a bet or an accident.
Yep,
So you're literally saying that
absolutely.
every recreational drug and alcohol, every recreational drug and alcohol was basically born from, I double dog dare you.
Very close to it. Very close to it. It wouldn't surprise me because, well, think about it. Even fermented barley. Who's gonna say, wow, there's this stuff leaking from this bag of barley that's been there for a while. I should taste it.
Num num.
Nobody's gonna say that. Nobody's gonna say that.
What you're saying makes sense. What you're saying makes sense, and the biggest thing that supports that is peyote. Somebody turned around and said, I want to eat the mushrooms off the coyote shit.
Right. I dare you.
Shrooms come from cow shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's there you go. It's always by accident or a dare that the greatest things in the world are discovered.
Well, yeah, I haven't drank in 13 years. And like every once in a while I'll get in a good conversation with somebody talking about drinking and alcohol and stuff like that. And the thing is, I always make the point to remind people that this is fermented, rotting stuff, and it's liquid, and you're drinking this. I mean, yeah, they filtered it out, they added some flavors to it, little barley, little hops flavor, or whatever, but it's still rotten juices, and that can't be good for you at any rate.
No, just like all other drugs, they're all poison.
What helps in one way harms in another. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's head over to Russia. We'll head over to Russia for one more tasty story. A video recently emerged.
Speaking of alcohol,
a video recently emerged showing doctors pulling a 4-foot snake out of a woman's throat. That's called Pornhub. No, the video showed an unidentified woman on a surgeon's table, knocked out on anesthetics. While this part is cut out in the video, in the link video, because there's a video link on this source, which is from oddee.com, ODDEE.com. If you want to go on there and see the video, I'm not showing it on here because that's just weird. While part of the video is cut out, news sources say online that the doctor begins by the operation by saying, let's see what we got here. He inserts a long tube in the woman's mouth and pushes it down her throat. Once convinced he's found something, he begins to pull the tube out. What comes out with it is nothing short of nightmare fuel, a full-grown snake, species unknown. They didn't want to identify the species for some reason. The nurse seen in the video seems to not like what's happening either. She recoils in horror. Screams of disgust can be heard from off-camera in the operating room. Only in Russia. Only in Russia do they videotape this and say, let's get this out there. There was vodka involved.
All right. Question. Was the snake still alive, or?
That is a very good question. The snake is placed in a green bucket. It's not clear from the video whether it's alive or dead, but it's most definitely covered with her stomach acids because, wow, that's
Who's
that's
going
messed
around
up, right?
swallowing?
Look, I'm telling you, man, the competition in porn is ridiculous.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, they may have YouTubed the snake going out, but I guarantee you it's only fans of it.
See, I'm actually reminded of Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1, if you've ever seen that. Does anybody know the penalty of a slave that strikes a Roman citizen? They shove a living snake up your ass. That's probably where this came from.
Yeah, right. Ooh, no, but creative.
Who goes around swallowing snake?
What's that, Colin?
I'm
Colin was
telling
trying to
you.
speak.
Who goes around swallowing snakes like that, though? I mean, that's a unique thing in itself.
Well, people go around swallowing snords, whatever the hell a snort is. People swallow swords for fun and party favors, apparently. Again, this could have been a bet.
Well, at least it was that end and not the other end.
Right. That's
Well, whoever was watching her swallow that snake in the beginning, were they looking her? Was she making eye contact?
Oh yeah, it was Russian.
Yeah,
this was for Russian Pornhub.
It was for Russian
Pornhubski or something. I don't know. Well, that'd be Polish Pornhub.
That is some messed up porn.
Pornhub.
Lord.
I don't know. I don't know what the Russian Pornhub is. I only know the American one is fantastic. I think.
Yeah, but you know what? Now you ruined it. I'm supposed to be, as I'm supposed to be editing this video tonight, I'm going to be looking that video up.
Oh, absolutely!
Like,
I know damn well you are. You're going to try to at least put a little taste of it in here.
That's a train wreck waiting to happen. You don't talk about something like that and not show it. I mean, that goes along the lines of like Two Girls, One Cup. We've all got curious and looked once. You know what I mean?
Briefly. Just
I stopped before they went too far.
But I would not post it in my podcast.
No, I wouldn't post it in the podcast either. But I can tell you this much: Two Girls, One Cup ruined freaking Dairy Queen soft serve ice cream for me. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, on that note, thanks for enjoying the news buffet with it. There was definitely plenty of items to choose from. Enjoy some fermented whale sperm beer.
God almighty. Thank you, Don. You never fail to disappoint in the news. Yeah, congratulations. I think you made me quit drinking. Congratulations. I think you achieved it, man.
That's what I'm here for.
We found the cure for alcoholism. We don't need AA. All we need is the news buffet with Don Smith.
That's right. That's the spirit.
Wow. Oh my God. So I'm really on this. Why would she stick a live? Oh, you've had some thought provokers on this one this week, Don. You really did. I'm sitting here like now.
It is not for the news buffet to question why, but to read messed up news or I guess do something else with my day. But
it never
read messed up news that somebody else wrote.
what kind of it never ceases to amaze me what kind of crazy stuff you'll find on the internet. Like I was going through Facebook the other day and somebody posted a short video of like a dog's back and they were like squeezing it and these little puffy worms were coming out of its skin and I was like, what the hell is that?
You know what? You bring up something that we could actually have a conversation about, I guess, for an after hours segment here. Is some of the weird shit that you do find on the internet. Like I don't get personally, and maybe you guys can help me out on this. I don't personally get how people are fascinated by these you've seen the videos, the ASMR videos or the oddly satisfying videos, and it's weird shit of like combing your hair or you know, like somebody perfectly icing up a cupcake or some weird noise of like scratching on the microphone and shit. Like, I don't get it. Where did this come from? And why is it so important to people? Like, have you guys found yourself entranced in this? Has it been like flipping through the channels and seeing a fishing show and you just have to stop for 5 minutes because you want to see if they catch the fish, even though you really don't give a shit? Or is it just me?
I don't know. Do people flip through channels anymore? Is that still a thing we do, or do we just comb through Netflix and decide what to watch? I don't.
It's like some of these videos you see, you start watching it, and then you're like, okay, what's gonna happen? I gotta see what happens. You know, it's like it sucks you in, even if it's like sick or disgusting or something. It's like I just gotta see what the heck happens on this video.
Yeah, there are some that I can't. I mean, there's like the pimple poppers. I can't do it. I don't understand that. I don't understand the draw to that, and it's just weird. It is just some weird stuff. Again, I think
it's just gross, man. It's really gross. Some of those pimples that these people be popping just be disgusting, and people just be like entranced watching this. Like they have a show, Dr. Pimple Popper. Like, who the hell wants to see this shit?
Apparently enough people to have its own show.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That was the caption of that video I saw with this dog's back and all these worms coming out of it. It was so strange because the title of it was like pimple popping or something like that. And it was like these little tiny worms.
Well, that's the biggest thing. Like, how do you discover these things? Like, with YouTube and all that, I know there's algorithms and everything else, but I can't imagine, like, at least not in my experience with YouTube, when I go to watch videos and stuff, you know, and I'm going to watch like music videos or somebody's podcast, for example. It's not like in the suggestion box, oh, check out mushroom grows out of dog's ass video. Like, do you literally have to go looking for these things to find them, or is it something more along the lines of like we discover these things because our friends recommended to us? Like, you know, as I used as an example in the news buffet, the 2 girls 1 cup. It's not something I ever would have looked up on the internet if it wasn't for other people coming to me saying, "Dude, you got to see this video." So, like, how do you guys normally discover your crazy videos that wind up being like the pimple poppers?
I don't know. I don't get into any of that. Although I will say, if there was a video of a mushroom growing out of a dog's ass, somebody would dare somebody to eat it, and we'd have a whole new psychedelic drug on our hands.
Right. Well, it's like, where do we get these urges to watch this crazy shit from? Well, for instance, there's this Belle Delphine, who's just a cute young girl from Europe somewhere, who dyed her hair totally pink, and then she's got the members only thing, and she made like thousands and thousands of dollars just by people watching her do dumb shit, like mix a bunch of honey and oatmeal and crap into a pot and stir it up and then take a bite out of it. I mean, just dumb crap.
You'd be amazed at what people watch nowadays. Is some of these programs just be ridiculous, but people watch it, and that's what it is. Is as long as people are going to continue to watch it, people are going to put out crazy content like that.
Oh yeah, I blame reality shows.
Well, you're definitely not wrong, Will, because of the fact that, like, my son, who's actually behind the tarp. Don't look at the man behind the tarp. For the longest time, he's a huge Mario fan, and he loves watching videos of people playing like Mario Brothers and stuff like that. But he got into this series I don't get at all, where it was like the kids, and it was kids that were doing the videos, were playing as the figures, like stuffed animal figures of the Mario Brothers things, and doing weird and ridiculous things with weird and ridiculous sounds. And it was it's not like it was high production, like somebody doing a stop motion video or something. It's literally the kid going like, "This is Luigi," and and you didn't see his face, you just saw the figure or whatever. And then he'd like throw it against the wall and stuff like. And then for some reason, this was fascinating to my son. And looking at the views that this video had, I'm like, there can't be that many idiots in the world. Like, you know, did everybody get hit?
Oh,
I wouldn't
There's
give
a
your
lot of
son
idiots.
too much crap, considering you make him hold that sheet up behind you through your entire show. I think that's just wrong of you. But you know, who am I to judge?
He wouldn't have to if he learned to put his freaking pants on.
Well, now you're just being judgmental. Who doesn't like naked time? Damn it!
shit. I love the
I'm naked. Yeah, naked time. Great time.
Yeah,
I
don't
can't do a
have pants on
podcast
right
with pants on.
You guys think I'm wearing pants?
And now comes the segment where Colin's going to do a headstand.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, but we don't want to look that deeply into Colin's corner.
I got brown eyes, but not that one.
Oh, he's got 3 brown eyes. As long as there's no
only
snakes
one
coming out of
snake.
it. Oh man, but it drives me nuts. Like, besides, we live in a world of podcasters where any idiot with a cell phone can make a podcast, and it could be so random. Like, we've got good ones like Will's, where it's diving into many different interviews, or Don's, where it's comedy and radio broadcast, or like this one here where it's mostly absurd comedy. But I mean, then you've got idiots that are like, they walk through the neighborhood, just rant, and people watch this. And sometimes it's like ranting about like nothing, like ranting because they're mad because the tree's leaves changed yellow instead of orange during fall. Like, I've seen some really bad podcasts, and I don't mean just seen, but heard as well. But I mean, like, and I'm not picking on anybody or their content. I just don't get it. Like, what is the appeal of some of these lower brow shows, for lack of a better term?
But you would be amazed at some of the numbers these shows is like. Who really would listen to these shows? You would think, like, why would you waste your time listening to these shows? But people truly do.
No, you're not wrong, because I've seen full blown podcasts with like thousands upon thousands of subscribers, and it's knitting. Like, you wouldn't like knitting's the last thing. I would rather watch a chess tournament on ESPN than watch somebody sit and knit. But for some reason, it's really popular.
Yeah, I don't. It blows my mind too what some people will sit and listen to, and the weird thing is, like something like knitting. I mean, people don't have the attention span to watch an actual movie, but they'll watch somebody knit. I guess it all depends on what you're into. I don't know. I guess the knitting's a little bit better than the pimple popping and the oral snake extractions.
It's kind of like food porn, I guess, where you watching people. Some of these people who get turned on by watching people eat.
I've heard about that. Yeah, that's weird.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of falls under that aspect, but it also, like, just like I don't get, and maybe you guys can, attest it to me, especially Don. I know you've got one yourself. The OnlyFans site really makes no sense to me. It really, really makes no sense to me, because in this day and age, in this world of the internet, girls mostly, I imagine there's some guys too, but girls mostly are making pages where they could sell pictures of themselves or videos of themselves pleasuring themselves, whatever, having sex or whatever, and people buying this. Why? Pornhub's free, so is Google image search. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get the appeal of wanting to pay for something that you can easily find for free. Like, how is this even marketable?
With something like the OnlyFans, I mean, I guess it's people are weird and they're always searching for a deeper connection. I guess with your standard porn, you don't get that much of a connection. So with the fans only, I guess you can. It's somebody that you listen to when they're not showing their tits, and that just, I guess that makes it more of a connection for some. I don't know. People are weird animals, just fucking animals.
I can't get behind that. If we're talking like my next door neighbor has a daughter, for example, and her and I are the same age, for example, and I talk to her every day and I get to know her and everything else. And yeah, of course, as a guy, and she's a cute girl, I want to see her naked. If I live right next door to her, why would I pay $5-10 to go on her OnlyFans page when I could be like, hey, you want to go on a date? You know what I mean? Get her some fucking whale spunk beer, get her nice and drunk, and then I can give her some other spunk, and I get to see the shit for free. Yeah.
Right. You can make her eat the mushrooms that grow in a dog's ass. She'll get all trippy and weird, and who knows where the night can go from there.
I mean, Colin, Will, tell me, did I fall off the fashion wagon or something like that? Is this just something that's modern trend that I'm just not getting, or are you there with me? Like, this just doesn't make sense to me.
That's how I feel. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. It's one of those things where people have like fetishes, or they're attracted to certain things and they don't really talk about it, but and then they're not going to go out and look for somebody and be like open with someone about like, oh, I like watching this stuff or with that, but they'll go online and they'll watch all kinds of dumb videos on the shit. It's a fetish thing, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Colin on that. I think it's more of a fetish thing as well. It's like there's just certain things that people are embarrassed to acknowledge that they like watching. Like, I guess with the food porn, like there's some people who just actually get turned on by watching someone eat. Like, if that was the case, I'd watch myself eat. I don't know.
But again, for a cheaper price, you can go in all you can eat buffet and watch people eat all the time. There's somebody that's going to be, turning you on in some way, shape, or form with 3 pounds of crab sitting in front of them. And that somebody probably be me. I won't lie.
Right. Well, there's something to be said there about convenience too. Like a buddy of mine who was into prostitutes once told me, says, you don't pay a prostitute to stick around. You do what you're gonna do, and then you send her home. Well, it's the same if you're on the internet. You can check out what you want, and then you just shut off the computer.
I guess that makes sense. I always called dating legalized prostitution. The only difference is with a prostitute, you're guaranteed to have a happy ending at the end of the night.
Not necessarily, because you can leave with more than you paid for.
Yeah.
or less one wallet or something.
Oh, Jesus, Don, did you just admit to being one of the only people on the planet that a hooker ever said not on the first date?
Oh, no. Trust me, you can leave with more than what you bargained for, from what I've heard. Because sometimes there are some things out there that last forever, and you think, did I really need to spend the money for that?
It's like The Hangover, where he goes, everything stays in Vegas except for herpes.
Jesus, the news buffet just became the seafood buffet. What ain't crabs is lobsters. Don't worry, the burning will go away.
Segment anymore. I think we went off on a tangent from the news buffet. We ended that. We're just talking about your weird shit now, Chris.
like for the past 2 weeks, we were supposed to finish up the Serenity story, but unfortunately, things haven't been able to work out that way. So I've kind of been caught with my pants around my ankles, just like Colin. And so I'm just going off of what we had, and earlier on the Coast to Coast Power Hour show that we recorded for SJ Network. Don was there. He remembers. And we started off with talking about technology and how some people just don't get it, or rather go back to the old days of calling movie phone to find out movie times as opposed to, Googling it and stuff. And so when After Hours came up, I'm like, well, playing off of what the news buffet said, let's go here and just see where the conversation goes. But there's just so much wrong with modern marketing. And I think the worst part about it, I honestly think the worst part about it, and I'm going to point especially to places like YouTube for this, is the advertising on the videos has gotten ridiculous. I don't know which is worse. YouTube putting 7 commercials that have nothing to do with what you're watching, by the way, on a 10-minute video. I don't know if that's worse than YouPorn having a share button to Facebook. Because why do you have a share button on a YouPorn video? Do you sit there and think to yourself, who's going to enjoy this grandpa and granddaughter video? My friends and family. Share. You know what I mean? Am I wrong on this? Am I seeing the world wrong on this?
It all depends. See, if you I'm gonna start my own Facebook page that is nothing but shared porn videos. That's the only thing it's gonna be. It's all I'm gonna do is just every now and then share some porn to it, and I guarantee you I'm gonna get a shitload of followers off of that, all the way up until I get banned from Facebook for good.
Well, you can share it with me.
But hey, it's going to be my own Facebook fan page, and whoever likes it is going to get to see the videos. I promise I won't be in them.
Okay, then you definitely can share it.
Okay. I'm glad we clarified that, Colin.
If you're in the video, please don't share it.
I can't make the same promise. I'm adventurous. Fuck it.
Why not? Why not?
I do have an observation that I could point out from this episode. You notice that when we lose the only female that we had in the group is when we start going into talking about porn and pornography and everything. It's literally when the cat's away, the mice will play scenario right now, because Serenity would put all of us in our place.
It's done. It's all done. It's all done.
You can't pin all this shit on me. I was talking about nice stories about hamster DNA, and you guys twisted it into something gross.
Yeah, wait, go back. I'm still curious. What was the purpose of the hamster DNA? What was the purpose of it? What everybody but me?
It's all a mystery.
They're going to breed the
perfect a new flavor of bubblegum
for being up people's asses. That's the plan. The perfect hamster for up your ass.
I thought that was gerbils. Ask Richard Gere.
Hey, these Germans do great engineering, man.
So this is an improved gerbil. Hamsters are improved gerbils. They're the $6 million gerbil.
They grow hairless and clawless. So
streamlined and modified.
Aerodynamic, hair-free gerbils and hamsters. That's what the world needs right now.
Or ribbed.
And they're all that's where I was going to go with it too. They're all wrinkly because they're ribbed for your pleasure. I feel like I have to I feel like I have to insert Stephen Lynch's gerbil song right here on this video. Yeah.
Or the hamster dance.
Or the hamster
Amsterdam.
dance.
Oh, hamster dance. Okay. I thought, yeah, Amsterdam is where you're going to find a lot of this shit too.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's probably where these stories are coming from.
They were going through Germany on their way to Amsterdam.
I love that echo. I don't know about you guys, but that's awesome.
That is awesome. It almost sounds like a grand stage.
Cool.
You sound like a gerbil speaking out of Richard Gere's ass. That's what you...
Oh, you like that?
Come on, Lemmy Winks, go toward the light.
It's dark as shit in here.
We love gerbils.
Oh, look, squirrel.
Terrible.
Terrible. Awesome, though. All right, guys, I think that's enough of the after hours. We'll go ahead and we'll jump into Colin's Corner. Colin, you got some inspiration for us? Because I think we need to be saved after this segment.
I'm Michael, the host of the semi-monthly podcast In a City Like Yours. Join me as I chat with interesting people with interesting life stories. You can listen to the podcast on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. You can follow us on Twitter at IACLYS Podcast, as well as on Facebook and Instagram at In a City Like Yours Podcast. Please feel free to let me know what you think, and keep coming back for the many interesting stories in a city like yours.
Yeah. Actually, I've been looking through a little bit on a local newspaper, and of course, you guys know I live in Upper Michigan. I live in Upper Michigan here, and so it's pretty positive from what's on the front page of our news here. It says only 20 people died in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan from COVID-19, which I thought was pretty good, considering there's, in my own county here, there's like 38 or 40,000 people. So out of all that, and this is one county, so the entire Upper Peninsula, that's a lot of people, and it's only 20 dead. That's all right. That's pretty promising.
For the month or in total?
Yeah. It says here since March. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty encouraging that all this time that there's only been
That's
20
impressive.
in my local area.
What the hell do you people do that the rest of us don't? That's impressive numbers.
Well, honestly,
They don't
spread out.
leave the house.
Right. No, we're spread out pretty good up here. It's a smaller communities. There's a lot of woods in Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So most people, they're hunters. They go fishing. They have camps. So they're spending a lot of time with their families out in the woods and stuff like that. So they're not like commingling as much like they do in the cities. There's not like bus systems and trains where they're like elbows to assholes kind of thing. So it helps where they're not having so much social activity together. They're not coughing on each other. They're not spreading this stuff around as much as they do in the cities where there's more population. So I kind of feel safer being here just because of that.
Right
I kind
on.
of feel like because I live in the mountains, and it's not crazy like you would be in a city where everybody's on top of each other. Like this distance between me and my neighbors. Like my neighbor is not on top of me. There's some distance between us, and like I said, I'm in a small mountain community. It's like the bus that we have that drives stops running at 7:30 p.m. So it's not like it's like a major city where you have people on top of each other. So I feel that's why we really haven't been affected that way, even though we have a lot of people that commute from New York City up here.
Right, right. That's really promising, and then you're looking at like this weekend is the holiday weekend, so it's probably going to be a spike because there's more people traveling around and whatnot. But hopefully people are being smart and doing the social distancing.
You said your neighbor isn't on top of you. It would be if you'd sign up to her Wood Only Fans page.
Share your videos with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to find out what city they were on top of each other, and that's where my next vacation is.
As long as it's someone on top of you and not a tree on top of you.
Right, because that's more likely in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. You got a lot of woods out there and a lot of people chopping down trees on family members. I think probably a lot of axe murderers up there too. That would be
surprisingly, they're not as many as you would think. But there are enough accidents with the forestry department where people do have trees fall on them and break their leg or cut their leg with a chainsaw and stuff. I've had a few friends have had some accidents, but at least somebody comes around with COVID, they'll just fire up the chainsaw and say, "You better get out of here right now."
That's how you do it. We can learn a lot from Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
There is, because right now I imagine like the death rates in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, with COVID being 20 people since March. It's like I would almost imagine more people have died from brown bears wanting a cuddle.
Oh yeah,
than people died from COVID
driving. Honestly, I would almost guarantee there's more deaths from drunk driving in this area since March. Or either that or snowmobile.
Well, of course, you said they all fish and hunt. Well, of course, you said they all fish, camp, and hunt. Who the hell does any of that sober?
Right.
Well,
then people break through the ice. They have vehicles go through the ice. They have snowmobiles go through the ice and things like that. And those numbers are pretty low. I mean, there may be one or two fatalities every year, but most of the time they just lose their snowmobile or their truck goes down in the lake, and then they got to get a record to get it out. Otherwise, it's like a huge fine or something if they don't retrieve their vehicle full of fluids and oils and tranny fluid and gas and all that.
I'm amazed. It's like you're the American version of what we hear stereotypically about Canadians. It's literally what I'm envisioning right now.
Well, some people say we have like an accent.
You do,
because we'll say things like they have like similar dialect because they're right across the border kind of thing. So we'll say things like "Holy why," and then there's like these jokes. I'll have to tell you guys some of these jokes sometimes. There's these characters called Ano and Toivo who are like the dumbest guys on the planet, and they have some of the worst jokes ever. It's almost like.
Did you just say anal?
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
You're getting jokes from anus.
I just think it's weird that they mispronounce oral like that.
No, anal. Like A-N-O.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say anal and
oral. Yeah.
Those are two of my favorite characters.
Well, there's a lot of Scandinavian people up here and stuff like that. So
is that the new word? Is it
different?
Is that the new word for explaining ass to mouth? Anal.
You'd have to ask Toivo. I don't know.
Ooh, man, some shade just thrown there. We will never have him on the show now because Toivo will come on and be like, "I do not go ass to mouth, eh?"
Yeah, there you go. So there was that. I thought that was kind of cool. There was only 20 deaths up here because of that, because of the COVID. So far, so good. Anyway, and then apparently locally they're doing a thing with the forestry service here. It says on the front page, this year COVID-19 has had a major impact on traditional education. Fortunately, families interested in ways to learn at home can enjoy a free series of educational forestry videos entitled Believe It or Not. The series was co-created by a pair of MSU Michigan State University Extension foresters and educators. And I think it's called beliefitornot.org if anybody wants to check it out. But it's kind of good, for young people to learn more about what goes on in the woods, like how to identify trees and different things and stuff like that, different facts about in the woods. So I thought that was kind of a positive thing.
No, that's definitely a positive thing, and I applaud them for coming up with it. But you know what? I hate puns. I hate puns so much, and especially bad puns. And believe it or not, like, okay, come up with the website. Let somebody else write the comedy material. Like, that's just terrible.
Yeah, they probably could have
That
came up
literally-
with a better name.
Yeah, that I'll be honest, like it's a great idea, and I think it's definitely a good thing, especially with people who can't go out into the woods and experience it firsthand right now, like you would expect from like the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or whatever. But I mean, if I was a kid and you showed me a pamphlet of Believe It or Not, that's going directly in the trash can. I'm never going to look at this thing.
Right. I think they probably have it geared more towards people who have children that are young that need that kind of stuff and that kind of learning. But it's encouraging to see that there's some type of people that are out there with the forestry department that are moving forward, because like normally there's a Upper Peninsula State Fair that would be going on in August, but they've canceled all of that because of the COVID. So any type of means of entertaining people at this point is encouraged, I guess, especially if it's educating people at the same time.
No, like I said, I applaud it. I would have given it a different name personally.
Yeah. They need to get their creative department better on the naming of these things in the Forestry Service.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have read the leaflet they handed out.
The leaflet, you bastard.
I can't believe it.
Oh man. Not that anymore. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty much all I got for today. I just thumbing through the paper here, seeing what I could come up with.
Oh wow. All right. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Colin. And I guess as an outro segment, because Mr. Rudder did not join us, I guess I'll be editing it in later for What's Your Effing Deal. I guess for an outro segment, we'll ask our guest if he's got anything he'd like to bring to the table. Any topics of conversation you've been thinking about that you'd like to bring in?
Oh man. I don't know. There's so many different things going on.
We've covered
well, no, let's see. Oh man, what's going on out there that I want to discuss? I don't know. There's so many different topics. Let's see. I don't know. We could talk about we could talk about R. Kelly getting his ass beat in jail and then asking for bail. There's just so many different things, man.
He got his ass beat in jail, and then he's asking to be bailed out because he got his ass beat.
Yeah, he's begging the judge to give him bail. Hey, listen, man, dude, you fucked up by touching those little girls, so now you got to pay the price. Hey,
yeah, that's what I say. Piss on him.
So they kicked his ass in jail. Was he trying to do some bump and grind or what? Bubba didn't approve.
Maybe he wasn't trying to do some bumping and grinding, and someone else wanted to bump and grind, and he wasn't down with that. They were in a little schoolgirl dress, so they beat his ass.
Good Lord. You had to go there with the bump and grind.
Oh, that was good. I got to give you that one. That was good, Colin.
Oh Lord. But I mean, like, how long's he in for? Like what was his sentence? Do we know?
They haven't sentenced him yet. He hasn't even. They haven't found him guilty yet. He's just in court till they go to court. He's just locked up. They haven't sentenced him. He hasn't gone to trial yet. They haven't had a trial. Yeah, it's been off and on.
Won't release him on bail.
No.
Wow.
Hey, listen.
Has anybody seen this?
Not that I want him free, but
yeah,
not that I want a child peddler free. But wow.
Well, there was some kind of a video talking about Ron Jeremy being brought up on charges of sexual assault for 175 years worth of jail time or something. Anybody look into that at all?
I saw some. I saw 20 different counts of sexual misconduct from a porn star.
Right.
The only thing I haven't read the article. The only thing I could possibly come up with is
the man's just a workaholic. He doesn't know when to clock out. He thought he was still going. You got to figure, look, he's been doing that this long. His brain ain't exactly right because there's too much taken out. I'd say he's probably got a few diseases that they ain't identified yet. And he probably didn't know where the hell he was when these things were going on. He just figured he was still at work. I'll just do what I know how to do. And there you go. That's not excusing it.
Well, look, but Ron Jeremy's claim to fame, obviously, is his Redwood member that he would drop on people for 4 straight days. But I mean, so yeah, you could blame the misbehavior. That's the word I was looking for. You can blame the misbehavior on blood loss to the brain because the blood's got to come from somewhere to fill that member. But at the same time, I'm wondering, and I haven't read the article, and this is being serious here. I wonder if he's catching the charge for back in those days, they weren't really stringent on having the actors and actresses be legally 18 years old. I'm wondering if some of these charges that he's getting is statutory rape charges of under actors were in a lot of his films.
Right, that could be possible. I mean, who knows how they were, were they checking IDs back in the day? I mean, he's been doing this a long time, and God knows how many women he's been fooling around with on doing videos. There's probably a number somewhere on Wikipedia or something, but we'd leave that to Don to look up or something.
Yeah, Don, we'll get on that.
Look up the penis statistics. Just give it over to Don. I can rattle them off right now. Don't worry. No, I'm kidding.
I thought you were going to share them.
Hey,
only if you're a fan of his group page.
You got to do your own research sometimes, Colin. I keep my penis stats to myself.
But no, I'm being serious, and the reason I state that is I'm wondering if he isn't taking the fall for how many filmmakers, adult filmmakers who didn't do the right thing in making sure that their actresses were of age and all that, are really the ones to blame. I mean, I'm not saying so much that he's innocent, but if it is something about film set, that's his job, and the director's your boss, and you're supposed to not do what your boss tells you to do.
Right. I mean,
especially if you're automatically assuming that your boss did make sure they were 18.
Right. I mean, are the actors responsible to do that? To say, hey, hold on, before we start filming, can I see her ID? I mean, isn't there management that should handle that first? And Don's on mute.
Well, why is it on me? I have no idea. The ones that I've made, I've always checked myself.
Well, you got to check your own ID, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. You got to check these things. You never know. It's important to look into it for your own safety, if nothing else. But
I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh because one of one of the charges he's being charged with is forcible entry with foreign object. So they're considering his shit a fucking foreign object.
That is totally understandable. Have you ever seen the movie One-Eyed Monster? This is not the hardcore stuff. This is actually this is a movie that was on Cinemax several years ago. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely hilarious in the fact of how of what it's about. It's called One-Eyed Monster. Basically, it's about Ron Jeremy's penis detaching, becoming possessed by alien creatures, and going around and basically screwing people to death. Fantastic movie.
It's literally the plot line to Guar. Which is
what?
literally the plot line to Guar's movie, Land. If anybody's familiar with the band Guar, they made a music movie called Phallus in Wonderland. And that's literally the same plot line. It's the lead singer's codpiece decided it didn't like hanging out with him anymore and decided to go off on its own.
That's hilarious.
The one-eyed monster.
Willie, the wonderful
he
one-eyed
actually
worm.
pleaded not guilty.
There you go, Chris. You can even put that out there.
Oh, I don't know. With this conversation, I don't know if I can put this up here.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
that's
fuck
the
it.
IMDb
Oh,
page
yeah.
for One-Eyed Monster. It's a 2008 movie. A hostile alien wreaks havoc on the cast and crew of an adult movie, and that hostile alien is inside of Ron Jeremy's penis. One of the
Well, obviously, if they're considering it a foreign object, man, this shit is a monster.
this is why it's considered a foreign object right here.
Are we literally looking at evidence for the court case right now?
It could be. It could be.
Your Honor.
Exhibit
no,
A, remember.
Greatest scene in that movie is, of course, they're all in this cabin in the woods to film a porno, and of course, this is after the penis is detached. One of the girls comes running into the living room where there are two of the other starlets out there having a conversation. She says, "I was just in the other room, and Amber's got a penis in her mouth," and they all just look at her and go, "So? It's not attached to anything." One of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen, but this movie is freaking hilarious in its stupidity. Definitely check it out. I don't often advertise other people's movies, but if you want to get, if you want to laugh at Ron Jeremy's detached member, this is the movie for you.
The one-eyed monster.
One-Eyed Monster.
God, yeah. A heat-seeking moisture missile. It may not have a conscience, but it does have a memory. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's like Patreon level horrible. Like that's something we got to review on Patreon.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Members only.
Yeah. Detached members only.
Detached members. No, I say we do that. I think we set that appointment right here. We find a copy of this film and we watch this film on Patreon. We've got to see what this is about.
Do a product review.
There you go. Yeah.
Product literally. We're literally look. It ain't gonna lie. We're gonna be sitting there and fucking like Mystery Science Theater 3000ing the shit out of this film, and you know we're going to. Except for Colin, he may go in.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have runner available for this one.
Yeah, Colin might be in a corner making some hamster juice for himself. Like, I'm excited.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but the boss started knocking on the door. I'm gonna have to leave soon.
That's all right. Well, before you jump
sure we
out,
were
man, why
talking
don't you
about-
go ahead? Why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where they could catch your podcasts, and if they want to get in contact with you through social media or something like that, man, take it away.
All right. You can check out my website. It's www.stuckinmymind2020.com. You can find me on Instagram at wise_b_blunt and on Twitter at wise_b_blunt. And I have a Facebook fan page, Stuck in My Mind podcast. And then I have my own personal fan page, Will Wise Otero. And that's about it. If you go to my website, I have a link to iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and a bunch of other ones. So you can definitely, whichever one you listen to, you can find it on my website.
Right on. And you know what? We might as well close out the show. So, Colin, why don't you take it next?
Well, I got my YouTube. I'm available on Facebook. You can email me, colinwashburn@gmail.com. If you got something positive, some cool story you want to share, let me know.
And of course, the man with the plan, Mr. Don Smith.
All right. Well, you can find the Life Radio Show pretty much everywhere you find podcasts, and there are 400 and some episodes for your whatever kind of weird enjoyment you get from listening to me. You can also tune in. You can go to www.1069.org, which is 106.9 FM, and listen from 7 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays and noon to 2 on Wednesdays and Thursdays for episodes that are out there over that. You can also thelife1069.com. I am in the process of updating that, which will be the first time I've updated it in probably 4 years, but it's getting there. You can also you can follow me at Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or the Life 1069 on Facebook. I'm out there. You can follow me everywhere, just not down the street because it's creepy and weird, and I might turn around and follow you home because I'm a lonely man these days. But no, you can find me anywhere that fat bearded guys hang out, pretty much, and anywhere on where you can find podcasts, and I'll be there. I'm also going to say, get out there. If you like indie films, you can get out there. You can find me in Black Mamba and The Goocher, which are out on Amazon.com and Walmart.com right now, as well as I believe Burning Down Babylon is out there too recently. So, and then coming up, you'll see me in Black Wolf and Red, White, and Black.
It's a lot of black.
There's a lot of yeah.
Right on, man.
You
And of
check
course,
out my
guys,
fans
if you
only
enjoyed this episode. Now, there you go. I imagine there's plenty of black, but a whole lot of white too. See, Don's not a good girl or a bad girl. He neither spits or swallows. Don's a show off. He gargles. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other great podcasts of Realm of the Mist Entertainment. And of course, if you prefer your podcast in audio-only format, just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. Also, guys, Realm of the Mist Entertainment and Breaking the Fourth Wall can be found on all social medias. Just look us up and you'll find us there. I will catch you next week, which hopefully we will have the return of the lovely Serenity Stone, and of course the return of our resident movie guy, Mr. Chris Rudder, and What's Your Effing Deal. But until then, have a good week. Be safe, be clear. Happy Labor Day, which it'll have been past when this episode releases. So I hope you had a happy Labor Day, and we'll catch you on the next Breaking the Fourth Wall. Have a good night. Hey guys, it's Chris from Realm of the Mist Entertainment. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other great podcasts that can be found on Realm of the Mist Entertainment's YouTube channel or our sister channel, Sounds Dicey Gaming, for all your tabletop needs. And if you prefer your podcast in audio-only format, check out Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. To our Patreon supporters, we thank you very, very much. And if you're interested in being a Patreon supporter, please go over to patreon.com/Realm of the Mist, and just $1 a month gives you exclusive content and helps our channel out greatly. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode.